All right, it is currently 5:27 p.m. So you have demons that are sounding their car alarms, which is nothing other than a method of audible activity with some simultaneity to what they already know I'm doing on my phone, which is some sort of operation. They're anticipating that I'm going to capture another video, which is indeed the case. My purpose and my duty is to legislate around the demon possessed population that's keeping American citizens under surveillance and all the tactics of this very threatening and highly demented population. It's a matter of public corruption because they are in the shoes of the state. And so the entity engaging in criminal summoning, as I document it, so I want you to see that. I'm engaging in what is criminal presence in the path, and that little child is engaging in what is group stalking with her grandmother. That's Maria Mercado, and her social security number, her name, has been captured in still images because she's maintaining criminal presence as I walk back to the office. And at 5:24, the entity was sounding sirens while she is stalking in the path and utilizing a minor child to engage in light activity. This is a demon that's monitoring with a minor, okay? And the people of the state, demons that are sounding sirens, are monitoring with a minor that's in relevant position in close proximity to the targeted individual. They're under the light source. There's no sun that's going to be over my room while I'm standing on the second floor of room 227, and the light source is over at 5:27 p.m. That's not the sun. That's not the sun that's going to be over me, and that is speaking to what is the pattern of conduct that's underway via underage people. All right, third-party group stalkers, making them sex offenders, making them terrorists, making them group stalkers, engaging in, employing them in state surveillance. And I want to be clear, also engaging what is demonic activity. So I'm going to share something that's very unfortunate. Demon possession is not limited to the age of majority, and this child has a demon on her. What she did was, while I was capturing an image of the social security numbers of Maria Mercado and Daisy Arroyo, those are the group stalkers that live in an 1860 number 2. They're going to federal prison. They're also going to federal prison for living at a crime scene with a minor. And you are looking at why they're also going to federal prison because they're engaging in the P.O.C. with the state that's sounding sirens under the light source that's not at 2301 South Euclid Avenue at the same time. An engineered light, because that's not sunlight that's going to be anywhere over this property. And also because at the same time I captured that still image, that's operation of my communication device in the specific environment. That demon that is operating over a child begins hitting the wall with her bike, which is audible activity creation. It occurs with simultaneity to what I'm doing on a communication device. This is what the demon possessed are doing. It is Title 18 criminal conduct. It's federal stalking on the video of the internet with communication devices. It's demonic activity. Demonic activity is not limited to the age of majority. The federal government is not responsible, nor can you save souls. That's not what this is about. But you will remove those minor children who are engaging in what are federal offenses. They're engaging in terrorism. This demonic system is operated by a government in concert with the people. They are engaged in terrorism. You're going to remove them from the people of the state. You're going to take them from the custody of the people of the state. You are mindful of the fact that they are of this condition. Nonetheless, you can put them in a different environment where they're not practicing this criminal system with the state and with the people of the state. You have what is removing them from that dangerous environment, which is threatening the life and the overall well-being of another targeted individual, of an American citizen. And it's really disturbing when I'm letting you know the P.O.C. that's underway via a minor child. And I want to be clear, this is directly relevant to what are the tactics of to engage in psychological torture. Because the demon possessed are engaging and they're acting under the false premise that, first of all, demonic activity is never going to be suspected. No one's going to believe. Who's going to talk about that? How are you going to know what they're doing? I've shown you all of the tactics of and the ability to identify the demon possessed, and it is in the environment, which is a supernatural occurrence. So you're talking about the supernatural occurrence happening every day. This is the demon-possessed population, and there's no exception. And they are engaging in what are maintaining minor children to engage in what is terrorism. So, yes, the CPS is going to remove minor children. This is grounds for permanent removal from such a dangerous, chaotic, terrorizing, and lawless environment, which is training people up, training minors up to engage in terrorizing other American citizens. That's literally what the people of the state are doing. There's no sun. The purpose of this video is this is engineered light inside of the laundry room. You have the demon possessed going in and engaging in surveillance, and you're not supposed to know that because you're never even questioning the environment. And while they are group stalking in the path, they're a demon that knows what you're doing. They're stalking you with methods of audible activity, and they are surrounded in the engineered light while you're in the path. Okay, that's what they're doing. It's state surveillance. They're doing so at a property where the sun is rising and setting. They are using and acting in concert with minor children. This is sick. Okay, the entity is stalking in helicopters, and they're acting in concert with minor children. That's what you saw Precious Bustillos engaging in, and she does so with impunity. There will be no hesitation to remove those children from her custody, and she will have a very hard time if she ever gets them back. Her documented impunity will be used against her in the interest of those minor children. All right, it is currently 5:33 p.m. and that's analysis that's going for all of them. But I just want to be clear: you saw the third party acting with her little army of minor children. They are being abused, engaging in this system of terrorism. That is evidence of what is abuse of a federal nature. That's exactly what's going to be appreciated under federal law. It shall be understood and a recognized ground to remove minors from the custody of the people of the state, because it has been shown and established that the government in the United States are engaged in monitoring American citizens. All right, and it is something that needs to be addressed in all the ways in which they do that. It's 5:27 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. The sun is documented as a matter of evidence, supposedly rising through my living room window. And at this time, when I'm already inside of my apartment, it's not in alignment to building 1802, which is what I'm facing. I am inside of my apartment, and if it was over building 1818, which is in alignment to my bedroom, I would be facing this direction. All right, but it's not. And this is not in alignment with my bedroom window. And that's just when you're isolating the universe, because under no circumstances is the sun ever going to be visible over the same property where it's supposedly rising. That's not the sun. Then you're going to look at where it's at. It's at Ovid Family Community Library. This entity, this demon-possessed population, this matter of public corruption has also resulted in kidnapping on more than one occasion. At 215 East C Street, where the light source is remaining at this time, which is impossible to be the natural environment, that's the pattern of conduct. They're all going to federal prison. The entity is maintaining a light source at 5:27 p.m. while I'm standing outside of my hotel room at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, where this entity engaged in kidnapping at that same venue. All right, it's during daylight savings time. They kidnapped me there on September 25th, 2020, where this same exact pattern of conduct was underway. It is currently 5:34 p.m. Monitoring on communication devices are the demons of speaker companies. Maria Hernandez at Baldwin Park Apartments, Syracuse Park Apartments in Baldwin Park, California. She's going to federal prison. This is criminal monitoring on a communication device in violation of Title 18, 22618, subsections 1 and 2. The entity is not engaging in what is the business of speaker companies. They are third parties, and those are third-party group stalkers who are also engaged in federal stalking on the internet via communication devices with real-time knowledge of the fact that their criminal system is being documented. And you already know that the entity is surrounding with obsessive light. There's the impossible. The sun is not over some hotel on Euclid Avenue facing the 60 freeway. Also, it's not the sun at that venue where the same entity engaged in kidnapping, because the sun is also documented rising there. So it's going to be it's either rising there and moving on, or it's sitting there and not starting at the day, but the entity is keeping it from the beginning to the end of the day. And that's how you're understanding what is group stalking. The entity that's group stalking is monitoring on the venue of the internet. And you're witnessing what are psychopaths that are in no way showing that they're innocent. They're showing that they're at that unlawful determination to continue. The entity that doesn't learn how to stand down, they're going to federal prison for even longer. Okay? That's how this documentation is going. And Todd Speaker companies, again, speaker companies is not going to survive, because you're talking about the immeasurable weight of damages which shall be assigned as a matter of to deter and punish the people of the state who are using any and every means, all of their resources, to maliciously facilitate a matter of public corruption. The government that is keeping American citizens under surveillance. Yes, the federal government you're going to drain their pockets. Okay, this is not about making it a lottery or winning some cash award. This is about punishment, and this is about making examples out of the people of the state. They will lose their reputation. You'll lose your financial wherewithal. You will be placed and known throughout the world, let alone in the U.S., as a group stalker. That is no title that you're going to want connected to your name or your business. This is speaking to the ways in which you're going to prosecute. You're going to prosecute, and it's based on understanding. And it is also necessary that you learn what is demonic activity, and it's occurring in this environment, which is a phenomenon. So while it's rising over the light sources over economy and at the same time, then you're thinking about the light activity that you've seen day in and day out as I begin exposing the entity that's still stalking and monitoring and engaged in federal stalking on the internet, that light activity inside of my apartment. Okay, through closed blinds, but yet it's over my hotel room at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, and it's remaining over in alignment to me at 215 East C Street, which is the Ovid Family Community Library. And therein lies the sex offenders, therein lies state surveillance, therein lies the exposure of the demon-possessed population who are present in courts, They're present practicing law with the public defender's office, the district attorney's office. They're sitting on the bench. They're also in the civil courts. Remember, the same entity engaged in obstruction of justice via the denial, criminal denial. It's not a matter of civil recovery, excuse me. That's criminal because the state is monitoring you. And you will exercise your rights. And because they engaged in evading service of process, that was a crime by this same entity. And I'm going to prosecute everybody having anything to do with that. You will not threaten the life of an American citizen and get away with it. You will not. All right. It is currently 5:38 p.m. This is P.O.C.